Hi guys, my name is Shannon Campbell and I'm going to be doing this presentation on the book A World Turned Over. This book was specifically about the natural disaster better known as the Candlestick Park tornado. So, a little background information on the Candlestick Park tornado. It occurred on March 3rd, 1966. The main area was Jackson, Mississippi, but the path actually did go from Mississippi, straight through Mississippi, and actually did hit a little bit of Alabama as well. It is named after a shopping center, the Candlestick Shopping Center, which you can see in the picture to the right, actually. You can kind of see that it was candlesticks. This shopping center was completely demolished, and it was the location of where the most lives were actually killed. This tornado was an F5 tornado, which is actually one of only two documented F5 tornadoes to have ever struck Mississippi. And once this tornado was complete, it had killed 57 people in the state of Mississippi and actually one in Alabama as well. So a total of 58 people, and over 500 were injured. So just a little bit more information on the Candlestick Park tornado. The path length was a total of 202.5 miles, and like I previously said, it did move from Mississippi to Alabama, and at its max, the width was 900 yards, and for reference, a football field is 100 yards, so 9 of those. Some of the impacts that this tornado had was beyond the obvious damage of lives lost, infrastructure damage, was a total of over $75.5 million in damages in the year 1966, which in today's year would actually equate to about $626 million. The damage had this tornado hit today would have actually been much greater due to far more development in that area as well as a much higher population. But from this, there were advanced meteorological technology and sciences, as well as improved communications, which we'll kind of go into a little bit more in the next slide. So some changes that occurred because of this tornado were, like I said before, meteorological and science advancements, as well as better communication. But in 1966, weather radar was actually World War II surplus. But over time, now supercomputers allow for a much quicker and more thorough analysis of weather predictions, so we can kind of estimate what's going to happen and when to better prepare. And the resolution of the Doppler radar has actually increased as well, which is going to allow us to see smaller scale features and much finer details. So some strengths of the book A World Turned Over was that this book focused completely on first-hand experiences of those who actually were there the day of that tornado, and they talked about what they saw, what they felt. Some people lost their lives, some people lost their homes, some people didn't lose anything but were there to experience it, or know people who did. But in the book, there was actually also one family that lost their son. And also another strength is that the author Hemingway was really, because of using these first-hand experiences, really able to evoke emotion in us as if we were in that town of Mississippi at that time. Some weaknesses of this book, though, were that it did kind of lack a thorough explanation of the aftermath of the tornado and how people recovered. The Candlestick Shopping Center was rebuilt, and it doesn't really go into how owners of these businesses were able to find the money to rebuild. It is also fairly repetitive. A lot of the stories are very, very similar. And lastly, it is a lot more prose than factual. There's not too many facts in it. It's more of a story. So if you're looking to get statistics and facts, this really isn't that type of book. And lastly, I just put in this quote from the book. which just says, cruel and without conscience, calculated in its killing, the wolf at the door was deadlier than the red-haired boy could have ever known. The world rolled onto its side, the ground was pulled into the sky, the prayers for mercy given up were given back, and up into the dark column rose our sense of place and those who had made it so. Thank you guys.